All right, hi everybody, David Fogel back with you, CEO of the Symphonina Foundation, back with another Symphonina Foundation podcast. And I'm here today joined by composer and honorary fireman, Charles-Henri Avelange. Charles-Henri, how are you?
Doing great. Thank you so much, David. Glad to be back here.
Yes, and you are back here. It's your second time on the show, which makes you officially a friend of the show, so congratulations.
Thank you.
And I'm remiss because I had Bernadette Niari on, and I'm going to apologize to her publicly here because she was on a week ago, and it was her second time, and I totally forgot that she's also a friend of the show. She's a friend, and she's also a friend of the show. So Bernadette, my apologies to you. I hope you forgive me. Charles-Henri, you have some interesting projects coming up, particularly with fire departments and things like that. I want to give you as much time as you like to tell us about what you're up to. Maybe just remind everybody how you came to be a composer, how you came to America too. I think that would be good. And then we'll learn about what you're working on now and how other people can get involved. So the floor is yours.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, it's an interesting story. I mean, I actually originally come from a long lineage of a French military officer on my dad's side and painters on my mom's side. So somehow I had to figure out something in the middle, right? So music was it. And so, yeah, I always wanted to be a film composer, started with electronic music. And then one day decided that like most of my favorite music were orchestral themes. And so I decided to want to go into orchestral music. And then logically ended up doing a film school as a result.
Yeah.
That was kind of a compromise with my dad. And so then moved to America to really be a composer for film. And that's where things got interesting. Something that I could not possibly expect is that upon my arrival in America, arriving in Seattle, the first people who welcomed me here in America were firefighters and family of soldiers, veterans, servicemen and women of this country. They're the ones who first noticed me, who decided to take me under their umbrella and actually petition for me to stay here. As a result, to thank them for the warmth with which I was welcomed, I decided to dedicate my very first album to them, and I called it The Age of Heroes. And that went on into becoming a fundraiser for the Washington State Council of Firefighters. I was invited as a guest of honor at a gala with, at the time, Washington State Governor Chris Gregoire. So that's me on a touristic visa, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, I was still on the tourist visa very much. So that also led for me to meet at the time president of the International Association of Firefighters, Harold Scheidberger, and he very much appreciated getting a copy of Age of Heroes. That led to the South King County Fire and Rescue crew to invite me to spend 24 hours at a fire station 19 years ago with them. I spent 24 hours. I went on call with them the whole I got to see the jaws of life being used, like multiple car accident on I-5. There was winds, the helicopter trying to all the way to just the cat is stuck in the tree, or like some old lady could not go back to her wheelchair and they're familiar with them, and some heartbreaking thing when it's old people that they've been taken care of, and this time this is the final call, and you could tell the toll that it would take on them, and see the happy moments and also the harsh reality that they are confronted with. It was such an inspiring day that I spent with them. And as we were listening to Age of Heroes during one of the rare downtime we had that night, one of the crew said, "Hey, have you ever heard of the Fireman's Prayer?" And I was like, "No." I mean, you have to understand, I was also still very much learning English. I was working on my English, it was very bad. So it's like, here I am, with a firefighter gear, the hat, the everything.
Yeah.
They're like, "Well, for what I'm hearing from your CD, I think you'd make a great music out of it." They point at the wall where, like in most fire stations in this country, that prayer is printed everywhere. It's going to be in an ambulance. It's going to be in the fire truck. It's going to be at the entrance of the fire station or the exit. Like Chief Collins, who from the governor's office of the California Governor's Office of Emergency Services told me he saw it every time he was walking out of his fire station. Like he saw those words every time. He could not miss them as they went. And so it's a very, very important prayer. Every firefighter here know it. And upon reading the words, I instantaneously heard the melody. And so I turned around to them. I'm like, "You sure it's not a music already?" And they looked at each other and they were like, "I don't think so." And I'm like, "It's not just a prayer; it's an anthem." And I started singing it to them. When I am called to duty, God. And some of them start tearing up, like, "Oh my God, he's composing in front of us." And so I was like, but it was more than that. I was really hearing, I wasn't hearing just the melody of the words, I was hearing the whole orchestration. And so there come a week later, I had come up with the Fireman's Prayer, a full anthem orchestra for choir and bagpipes. Probably the biggest and most complicated music I've ever composed, and yet the one I composed the fastest ever, because I was really like just reproducing what I was clearly seeing in my mind. It was
Yeah.
almost too easy, like it was weird. And I have felt that only once before at that moment. It was the last film of Age of Heroes called Welcome Home, which instantaneously came to me when the plane landed for the first time for me when I touched the American ground.
Hmm.
And so I sort of recognized the signs. And the funny thing is, as I composed the music, I kept hearing bagpipes in it. But you have to understand, as I was still working on my English, I was still learning about America's customs. I didn't know actually anything about, well, what is it that the firefighters do for their ceremonies. And
I've
so,
been here a long time, Charles-Henri. I don't know what they do either, so
yeah,
don't take that personally. I'm learning here. Go ahead.
I do get to hear that.
Yeah.
Actually, people learn.
I've been here 62 years. I still don't know. It's okay.
So, but as I compose the music, particularly for the tutti at the end, I'm hearing bagpipe. And I'm like, wow, okay. One, as you know, one does not just decide to add Highland pipes into an orchestra
Exactly.
piece.
Yes. Yeah.
It's not something you just, oh, yeah, that's going to be fun. But I just can't shake it. It's like I hear them. And so I start playing around with it and I add them. And 1 week later, I go back to the fire station. My good friend, Captain John Stockman at the time, who was the captain of the Redmond Fire Department. And I have his crew listening to the first demo. And they start tearing up too. And I'm like, what's going on? God, it's that bad. And they're like, no.
Exactly the opposite. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, how did you know? And I'm like, how did I know what? How did you know that to put the bagpipes in there? Bagpipes is our instrument. Every firefighter department in the country have their own bagpipe and drums corps. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, why?
Yeah, really.
It's
Right.
America, it's not Scotland. And they're like, well, that's because of our Irish background. Because he went to explain me that when Irish immigrants came, they were not very welcome actually in America. And so nobody would give them a job. And the only one available was the most dangerous of them all, firefighter.
Yeah.
And so as they started losing their comrade, they played the one instrument they had, and it was the Highland pipe. And that's
Makes
where the
sense. Yeah.
tradition comes.
Yeah.
And they have the kilt with the American firefighter top. Like, they look absolutely gorgeous, I have to say, when they play in full costume. And I've had the opportunity to see that happening. And yeah, it is great. But what were the odds? And I looked at them and said, actually, I had no idea. I had to be honest. It's like the music told me to put it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing about the Fireman's Prayer. It's like I feel like I had nothing to do really, but just do what I was told by some force that I cannot possibly explain to this day. And so, unfortunately, it's been taking me 19 years. So, fast forward 19 years. I've been trying for many years to try to make it happen. But the problem is, this is a music composed for 250 musicians. It's got a full adult choir, a full children choir, a full orchestra, and 50 pipers.
Right.
So it's like the budget to have it properly recorded is insane. It was very much a deterrent. And also, I've always had the optic. For me, my experience hanging out with firefighters in America is that I always like to joke that if an alien race was coming to Earth and they requested to meet the best mankind has to offer, I would send them the firefighters of this country.
Yeah.
Because they are just exceptional people at every level.
Yeah.
I always get a little bit emotional when I talk about it. They are just absolutely incredible people and so inspiring. and so kind, and like what they do every day for us is.
I've known some, and I agree with you without exception. They're all great people and very giving of their time, and they're putting their lives on the line for us at any moment. And we've seen it in the news over the last certainly 20, 30 years, multiple
Mhm.
times. But we probably all have lived those experiences personally in one way or another too, if we've lived long enough. So I totally agree with you.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing, is like they don't even think twice about it. It is just it is really a call, and it's not something that everybody can do.
For sure.
And when you ask them, they're like they look at you and they're like, well, if I'm not doing it, who will? And that's pretty much their motto. Like, okay, well, that I've decided I was going to do that. Nobody needs to thank me for it. It's just that this is the thing to do, and I will take it upon myself to do it. And that,
Yeah.
to me, like, has the utmost respect I can possibly have for them. And so, as a result, where I was going with that is that I've always made a point that only the best, I will let only the best perform that music, because it's about to honor the best. So only the best gets to record it.
That's why it takes 19 years, Charles.
And that's why it takes 19 years. And so fast forward 19 years later, I am so proud to say that on May 7th of 2026, we will be at the Sony scoring stage, the Barbara Streisand scoring stage, which is the best studio in the country. And we will be recording one of the best choirs in the world, not just in the country, the Los Angeles Master Chorale and the Los Angeles Children's Chorus. And that will be the first part of that process. We will record it in three steps. So first the choir on May 7th, and then on hopefully about a couple weeks later, we will record the 87-piece orchestra. Same thing at Sony scoring stage. And then a little later, we will be recording the California Professional Firefighters Bagpipe and Drums Corps.
Amazing.
That's
Amazing.
50 piper plus drums. It's going to be quite something.
Question for you. Okay, so congratulations. I mean,
So much.
that's so good. So when you have all these recordings, are you going to be the one doing the mixing, or do you have a mixing team? I mean, that's a lot of work ahead of you.
For this project, and again, it's all about having the best. And sure, I mean, this is my training actually, and I do mix and master a lot of my music. Like
Yeah,
when I did the official theme for the Make a Wish Foundation
Mhm.
3 years ago, which was my first collaboration with the Los Angeles Children's Chorus, and subsequently what brought back the Fireman's Prayer on top of my pile on my desk.
Mhm.
Because having that experience with that world-class children choir, and Los Angeles is so lucky to have these kids. I mean, Billie Eilish is an
Okay.
alumnus of the Los Angeles. That's the kind of artist that comes out of the Los Angeles Children's Chorus. This is a Grammy Award-winning ensemble directed by Fernando Malva Ruiz, and they are absolutely fantastic. And so when I recorded that theme, right away my mind went back there, and I was like, oh my God, I could get a glimpse of what the Fireman's Prayer would sound like with those guys. And so, or should I say those girls, really?
Mhm.
And so then that's when I started like my little battle trying to put it together. And then guess what? As I was in the process of trying to rallying the troop around it, in January, all hell broke loose in Los Angeles in January of 2025.
Yes, indeed.
And I was, again, fate had it that I was only 7 blocks away from mandatory evacuation. I got to see those guys defending my block, defending my apartment, as I was like still revising those bikes.
Yeah.
And trying to figure out how to save my studio, what should I leave behind, and like it was a horrible time. And those firefighters right there, my wife and I were in first seats to see how brave they were and how fantastic they were, and how they saved our place, and how they did that for so many people. The Eaton fire, the Palisades fire, so many people also lost their homes and are still trying to recover from it.
Right.
And it most affects the community and the firefighters, because some firefighters lost their homes so that they could save somebody else's. Like
Right.
they knew, some of them went fully knowing that their house was burning, because they were receiving probably their like their cameras or like their their
Yeah.
alarm systems
Yeah.
notifications while trying to save somebody else's. And that is the essence of what these people do. And so that's sort of like, well, I guess that was the spark that started the artistic fire.
Right.
And sort of like revived the whole flame. And so I reached out to the Los Angeles Master Chorale. Brian Gershon is who I got on the phone, and he was so enthusiastic about it. He thought it was a great idea. I am so honored that such a high caliber ensemble even is considering playing my music. Like there's been a lot of tears, I have to say. They've been advocating for it, and of course the Los Angeles Children's Chorus were on board, and so it took basically the whole year of 2025 to finally come. Like we finally started getting enough donations so that we could at least start by putting the choirs in the studio, and that's what we're very much going to do.
Yeah. Now, where are you in the process of assembling the orchestra that you are going to have recorded? And also, if people want to help you do that, what's the best way for people to help you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, so the Los Angeles County Fire Museum, I was trying to put the words in the right order, is a huge supporter of the project. We're trying right now to set up. I already have set up a donation page on my website. If you go to charles-henri-avelange.com, you will see a tab that's called the Fireman's Prayer. You can click on it, and it will have the donation button and then the donation form. Everything you can give from $1 all the way to $10,000. And if you do give $10,000, I have a spot for you in the studio with us.
I bet you do.
Come witness history.
Yes. Yes.
So that's set up, but I am working with the museum so that we can make those donations tax deductible through their benevolent fund. It's not quite in place, but it is retrofitted. So everyone who donated so far, there's no problem. I will be able to apply it. It's just that it will be applied on the next year. And so if you want to donate now. And when it will be set up, it will be very obvious because when you click on the button, there will be the logo of the foundation and everything. That's what's going on. But yeah, people can help that way. We are still missing. I think the page right now still say $50,000, but we've been raising more. So I think we're more like at down to $36,000.
Okay.
To be able to bring that 87-piece orchestra of the local 47 Hollywood scoring symphony, which is pretty much some of the best musicians in the world. I had the opportunity to work with them when I did a tribute for our servicemen and women, veterans, which was featured on military.com, which is the biggest online community for servicemen and women in U.S. military. It was called Commandment of Valor. You can go actually see on YouTube. We recorded that at East Coast Scoring Stage at Warner Brothers. And that was very much the same orchestra, and there was only 64 of them. Now we're bringing 87 for the Firemen's Prayer.
Yeah.
So that's where we are at, and we are encouraging people to donate because, if you believe in that, there's been a lot of tributes. What Chief Collins has been telling me is that what's very special with the Fireman's Prayer is that, lots of artists do tributes and sing for them, etc. But that's the first time that this is something that really means something to them to the core, because that prayer, they live with it. They live by it. And so to hear it brought to music, it is something like in their own words that is so new and so personal to all of them. Like some of them are at the Los Angeles County Fire Museum. The board is pretty much composed of a retiree career firefighter who have spent sometimes over 35 years in the Corps. And so they told me right away, there's that prayer, that's such a huge part of my life. I get to see it every day. And to hear it brought to life with the pipes, with the choir, with the orchestra, it's like all of a sudden rediscovering something that's been part of their lives for the past 80 years. Because I believe the prayer was first written in the 40s.
It's got a long history. Then we're coming up almost on 100 years.
No, yeah, absolutely, yeah. And that's the funny thing. There is a strange story going on around that prayer. Is that it was officially released as an unknown author. Although I believe there are about 3 families that claim ownership of it. And there one particular one that is supposedly they're saying that it was written by Smokey Robinson, and it's a very interesting story.
Interesting.
And that gives so much more meaning. It's a very poignant story as to why potentially the prayer was written to deal with incredible loss. Officially, the International Association of Firefighters say on their website that because it was officially released in I think it was like a book of poems, it was the wish of the author to release it as unknown, because whoever it was pretty much still very alive when it was published. So in order to respect the wish of the original author, it is basically the common knowledge that we will keep it as written by unknown. And so that prayer, starting from these very humble origins, came to be on every single fire stations, and there is quite a bit of them. And that's not just here in the US, that's also in Canada, because the International Association of Firefighters includes Canadian firefighter. So that's over 400,000 firefighters across North America. But funnily enough, and I know that from Chief Collins, who also as part of the Governor's Office of California Governor's Office of Emergency Services, they are very much involved with FEMA, and they get to help a lot. That's something that people don't know, is that a lot of Los Angeles firefighters are among the best firefighters in the world. When you see them, in your street dealing with some fire in the trash, what you don't know is they might be coming back from Turkey helping on the earthquake, and they barely slept in between, and they're still helping you right here in your street in Los Angeles.
Right.
And so what he's been telling me is that during the events in Japan in 2011, the Fukushima catastrophe, he got to work with the Pompiers de Paris. Those French firefighters were familiar with the prayer.
Ah, okay.
So it sounds like actually...
Okay, you're going to be creating music actually then that is not just for Los Angeles. You're creating music for the world, Charles-Henri.
It sounds like it, and that's always what I saw, and I think that's what I try to put in the music itself. Particularly today, where the world seems like it's slowly but surely falling apart. What I've always seen through the firefighters is that they have that incredible power of unity. Everybody, wherever you go, firefighters have the same mentality of helping first, and everybody appreciates the firefighters all around the world. And the thing about firefighters is that when they go help you, they don't wonder which religion you are or who you voted for. Even if you might be disagreeing, if you end up having the conversation with some of them, you might find out you are highly disagreeing on a lot of things with them. But that's the thing, that when they go on a call, none of that matters. They will come help you, even if they believe that whatever you believe is wrong. They won't ask themselves twice, and they will risk their lives to help you. And I think this is such... it's such a hard time to talk about it. It is such an inspiring thing, and that's what I try to put through that music. When you listen to it, it's like that moment of belonging to a community that is so much larger than what you could ever think about.
Yeah, let me ask you a question, Charles-Henri. So you still need to raise a little money, and I'll ask you to give that information out again before we go. But I think you probably must have thought already about what the visuals are going to be that would go with the music, and maybe even a movie that would go along with a story. Could be your story even, but it could be anybody's story. But I don't, you might feel self-conscious if it was yours.
I have a hint. Leonardo DiCaprio apparently would.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So let me just ask: do you have thoughts along those lines, and have you explored them?
Well, actually, that's funny, because Chief Collins, before becoming, I just had an interview. I interviewed to know about his life. Chief Collins is one of those people, by the way, that all firefighters are heroes, but he actually has papers that say so.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
It is absolutely incredible, and so I wanted to actually take the time to just talk about his background. And he's the one who actually told me that before becoming a firefighter, he actually wanted to be a scriptwriter. and he
Okay.
writes he writes incredibly well. And
Okay.
so he's the one who's been telling me that he wants to. He's starting to think that we should be doing
I
a
think you
movie
should.
about the firemen.
I think you should, and I think that would. I mean, obviously, that's going to be great. And if you can get with the studio, then the rest of the financing issues go away, right?
That
So,
would that would be something, and that would be certainly a feel good movie, because there's nothing like a good, well done firefighter movie. Like it just seeing these people at work with all the right actors and the right music. And the funny thing is, I am a film composer, and so it is true that the Fireman's Prayer, although composed as an anthem, is very visual, and I did have a lot of visuals when I composed it. And if you carefully, when people will be able to listen to it, if you carefully listen, there is all these details that I like, all these Easter eggs that I put in there.
mhm.
I make the instruments imitating the sirens, the big horn of the truck.
Yep.
I make the timpani imitate the heartbeat, and I actually put on the score saying it's literally supposed to be a heartbeat.
Mhm.
I imagined, like in that very poignant last verse where the fire. I'm not going to be able to talk about it. It's so hard. It's
It's
so
okay.
hard. It's been 19 years, and it's all about the album.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
No.
so
Look,
much. I can tell
it's
you the emotions that are going right now.
yeah.
Just I'm looking at my calendar right now, and I'm at the May 7, and just to see
It's around the corner.
Sony scoring stage, Eddie Mastercore recording session, and Los Angeles Film Scores. Like, I've been dreaming about this mode to stay on my calendar and seeing that on it for 19 years. So it's like, it's really hard to talk about it.
I'm so happy for you, really, truly, and
Thank
I
you so
and
much.
and I do have a composer question for you before we let you
Yes.
go. So I've never even considered writing for bagpipes. So I have a question for you on this. When you compose for bagpipes, do you think about them like a flute? Do you think about them like a bassoon? Do you think about them like a clarinet? How do you even go about thinking about it?
I think about them as what they were meant to be, a threat.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
It's been 19 years, and I'm actually still working on it. And I would like to give a huge shout out. That's funny because I just received, as I'm talking to you, I just received this email. That's why I'm going to say that Jeff Hahn, who is the lead bagpiper of the
Mhm.
California professional firefighter bagpipes and drums corps, has been graciously spending some time helping me put the final touch
Good.
on the bagpipe, and he just sent it to me, and I'm looking at it right now, and that score is finally, as I'm looking at it, that score is finally looking the way it's supposed to.
I would love to see that score at some point. Maybe you could post it publicly so other composers can
Oh,
get an idea and appreciate too what you had to do.
absolutely, absolutely, and he did such a fantastic job. And it looks like he included me a little. Oh, I have a little MP3 of a performance for it.
Good. There
All
you go.
right, that's gonna be. I can't wait. But yeah, Jeff Hahn, you have to understand the California professional bagpipers, to say it short.
Hmm.
That 50 bagpipers and drums, and these guys are scattered all around the state, and they gather together once a month to rehearse in Los Angeles.
Hmm.
But that's only if they don't get interrupted by the funerals, unfortunately, because as soon as
Yeah.
there's
Right.
a fallen firefighter, they have to go there and perform there.
Right.
And as Jeff has been trying to help me with that score, I can tell you already in the couple weeks that we've been doing this, how many times he sent me an email telling me that he was pausing the work. It is that's when you realize the amount of time it happens. So yeah,
Everybody's out there putting in their part, whether it's saving people or recognizing people or
absolutely.
whatever it might be. Yep.
But it looks like he finally he finally did it. I can't wait.
Good.
So the bagpipe, yeah, it is hard because they have their own rules. They have only 9 notes, and that's it. There's no such thing as trying to bend them to make them play something else. There's
Okay.
just those 9 notes, and as a result, like even when they play the famous themes, what you hear is actually not quite the melody because they are notes that they just can't play. So
I see.
you have to reach to the closest note that will somehow still work, and that's where all the challenge really
Yeah, I can imagine. I can
comes
imagine.
from.
Yeah, yeah.
They have particular rules as far as writing the notes on the staff that are really just like proper to them. And you have to know them. Unless you don't know, you start writing it like just like regular, and you won't be able to read it.
Yeah, impossible, right? Right. All right, so you're on May 7, Sony Picture Studios, Barbra Streisand scoring stage with the Los Angeles Chorale and the Los Angeles Children's Chorus, directed by Grant Gershon. It's amazing. And you're still needing to raise money to get the 87-piece orchestra from the Hollywood Scoring Orchestra together. If people want to help contribute to that, what's the best way to do that?
Well, the best way to do it is to go to my website, charles-henri-avelange.com. Hopefully there will be the spelling somewhere. I am fully aware that my name is very French. And then you will find, as you enter my website, you will see the tab on top, the Firemen's Prayer. And you cannot miss the button. You have the history written in there, and any contribution helps. And it's also more about just putting the orchestra in the studio, of course, so that we can finish the music. But I want to encourage people to continue to donate, because it will very much, and this is the goal of the Fireman's Prayer. This is not for me to like buy a new car or something like that.
Right, of course.
My wish is that it will help every single benevolent fund and firefighter association. And so you can be a part of that by donating to the Fireman's Prayer. And if we end up with too much, the money will definitely be going to helping the families of fallen firefighters.
We appreciate that. And when you do get a new car, I do have an idea for what color it's going to be. It's just going to be fire engine red, I am sure. So, Charles-Henri, it's always a pleasure. Congratulations. You're almost at the peak of the summit. And as they say, that's the most dangerous time. So keep your eyes open. But I'm sure everything's going to go great. And we're going to watch for some video that you might want to share with us after May 7. If you're willing to do that, that'd be great. We'd be more than happy to help.
We're
great, and we're going to enjoy an exclusive first listen of the Fireman's Prayer demo now. And as always, if we can be of any other help to you at the Symphonina Foundation, just let us know.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.